going to find himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So Mirov in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. Doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting a weird, but Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Hay deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
And I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the out pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped you all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Oh, Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And he definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike could have a go. Werrell, don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah. And it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there. Is like really bunching up now.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's touched on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome back to the BSC round one of the playoffs. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined here once again by Mr. Kenton Sportak this evening, who's going to be joining me for what plans to be an epic evening of racing. After 12 rounds of action, it all comes down to this one. We are at the opening round of the playoffs. 12 rounds gone. We've got 5 more remaining, and it is here at Talladega, Kenton, where it's all going to kick off.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of fun. This is just flat out, which makes it way more entertaining, way more exciting, just constant drafting. And we talk about draft a lot. This is where it actually is very, very, very important. Unlike the nickname they've given Talladega of just Dega, drafting in these high-speed, long-track super speedways, much more exciting.
Yeah, it definitely is as well, and I think it's going to be an exciting one here once more. Now, they've only got 75 laps. We're only running with stage break at 30. They've only got 75% fuel here as well, but as you say, it's going to be flat out. Do we think Talladega's going to play a massive part here this evening?
No, very similarly to Daytona, you could pretty much go the entire, or at least close to the entire length of this race on one set of tires. Will you take tires? Sure. If you feel like your car is not quite gripping enough going around those corners, or that it feels a little shaky, anything like that, maybe. But for the most part, you're going to be not really too worried about tires. If at all, you're going to do the left side, right side alternation while you're going, but mainly because it takes the same amount of time as it takes to refuel. So you're not too stressed about it there, and that way you're not losing extra time by getting all 4 tires done, unless it's under yellow, in which case then you can. But you also don't want to be doing what these guys are doing. Don't bump draft on a corner. That happens, as we see Dan Michael go down into the apron. You don't bump draft on a corner. You bump draft on the straightaways. Give a little space in the corners, because that dirty air can send your car in a lot of different directions.
Yeah, it definitely can. Okay, so let's give you a rundown. As you see, some of the names are in red, and these are the guys that are in the playoff finals. Okay, so these are the guys heading into the playoffs here once more. We've got Alex Witt, Dan Michael, Christian Strada, Noel Jakowitz, Andrew Williams, Devon Collicott, Rodney Roberts, Hunter Carlson, Matthew Norberg, and then Brandon McLaughlin. So that is the current championship state we have here at the moment. So it's going to be interesting. They will be marked as red until they qualify, and they can qualify straight off the bat by winning a race. And then when they do go and win a race, they will be going into gold. So if next week you come and somebody's in gold, that will be their situation, because they would have won the race. If they are in the playoff finals, of course, then they will go straight forward. Just clearing that up, Kenton, because, you know, it's a lot to take in. One of the things we have going to take in as well is the fact that we've got 30 cars on the grid here. 30 cars are going to be in this in this race, basically, for you know, we've got the top 10 that we know have qualified, so it's going to be interesting how much of the other guys are going to come into play here. I think that could be quite interesting.
And yeah, we saw it last season where I think it was the first 2 races were won by people not in at the time. It was the top 8, in this case, the top 10. So we have seen it where they can play pretty significant roles, strictly like having no one in the top 8 last season win the first 2 races. It came down to, I think it was 3 people had to qualify based on positions. No, because Witt won the last race, so he actually got in on that. But so Witt and Jordan Malcolm both got in on wins, but the last 2 positions for the top 4 came down to, I think there's 5 cars that were actually viably had a shot. That it seemed like it was, no one was actually out until the very end of the very last race, and there was different ways they were going to get in. I think it was Josh McQuiggan and Dan Michael had both missed a race, so they had to win to get in. So it came down to them, and then you had Noel Jackowitz and I can't remember who the other one was at the time, but like there was another 2 or 3 that were fighting for points just to get in, and it ended up being the two of the guys fighting for points that actually did get in, and Josh McQuiggan and Dan Michael unfortunately didn't. But it adds a whole other level and kind of layer to this, as it's not just the top 10 racing and you win, you're in kind of thing. It's a lot more cars, obviously, with 30 cars going around this track. It's going to be very important to be smart about it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the interesting thing. They've got to be smart, and let's see how smart they are going to be here. Don't forget, guys, as well, massive shout out to the Killer Brownie Company. There you are, who sponsored this entire season. Much love to them. Go and check them out at killerbrownie.com. But we are here as well at Dega once more for the 200 miles of Giving Me the Suck. Another interesting presented name here this evening, Kenton.
Yep, that's just gonna say that's a thing. Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, Sawyer Gara.
What they're trying to mean with it, but cool.
Sawyer Gara, this one as well. Brad Young, come on TJ, plate racing is your forte. Whoop, go TJ, says Lydia, and Terry Spainhour Senior. Let's go TJ. Well, let's see how they are going to do here. 75 laps of Dega, lap times round about the 53 second mark. I'm expecting a few to break into the 52s, I would have thought as well, but let's see what happens in qualifying. They have not got long left of qualifying at all. In fact, they've only got 1 minute and 47 seconds, and at the moment Selena Thompson is topping the timing tower there. Kenton, and Andrew Jamalin as well. He's not been around much this season and has now come back in for the playoff final, but Andrew Williams is the only playoff driver in the top 10 at the moment.
Yeah, a little I want to say surprising, but it's plate with plate racing, it's pedal to the floor and hold on. Like so times are going to be very close together, barring a slip up or anything like that. And I mean, to get the closest times, it kind of varies on how you want to go about it. A lot of people will come in from the last corner very high and then drop right down to the line, and you want to hug the line as close as you can, especially for qualifying. The closer you can stay to that interior yellow line, the faster your times are going to be, because if you're going up, as we just saw with Brendan McLaughlin there, as he entered that corner, he was quite high for that bottom lane. There's a decent sized gap. That's just scrubbing time. You want to stay as close to that yellow line as you can, and that's the best way you're going to carry most of your speed and have that faster time coming through there.
Yeah, it definitely is there as well. I'm not too sure why Brandon McLaughlin's running around in a white car here. I'm just trying to resolve that issue as well. Thank you so much for everybody that has joined us. Don't forget, you can obviously get involved, have a chat, tell us what you think, what's going to happen here as well. As you can see on your left-hand side, all the playoff drivers are in red. Alex Witt's if he's going to go across the line and put it in pole, we might as well do it on the very last bit here. and he doesn't. Well, this is going to be an interesting grid, but let's bring it up. Here, Selena Thompson is on pole position. Andrew Jamalin in second. Andrew Williams third. Andrew Onquist in fourth. The battle of the three Andrews there in second, third and fourth. Brian McLaughlin in fifth. Josh Keefe in sixth. Jordan Malcolm seventh. Nicholas Stockner eighth. Rob Sizemore ninth. TJ Spainhour in 10th. Blake Lewis 11th. And Ria Subra down in 13th. Matthew Norberg is in 13th, Devon Collicott 14th, Thomas Kuhn 15th, Noel Jackowitz 16th, Hunter Carlson 17th, Cody Kern 18th, Rodney Roberts 19th, Alex Witt down in 20th, Ryan McClellan 21st, Strada 22nd, Peg 23rd, and Calvin Ross in 24th. Dan Michael in 25th, Dominic Bettini in 26th, Radel 27th. I'm not sure if Michael Massey is actually racing. I think he actually is there. Joshua Kuhn in 29th and Greg Sherman in 30th. Well, that is, I think, the most topsy-turvy grid we've seen all season.
It definitely adds a little layer of intrigue coming into this. We do have two guys in the top 10 that are in the playoffs, but it is super speedway racing. One crash in a whole lot can change very quickly. We've talked about draft heavy tracks, and this is the kind of the main one outside of Daytona, and you'll see it. It's, if you get left out, you're very much going to get left out. So it's all about being smart, sticking with the teammate, and trying to avoid as much carnage as we can. As I believe Selena says, that is her hometown pole position.
Well, there we go. Stellar job there. However, your internet is playing me a little bit of trouble, Ms. Thompson. So, yes, let's try and keep away for 2 seconds as well. As I seem to have a little bit of a livery issue going on at the moment, which is never ideal. The wonderful world. Was quite amazing. It worked earlier. You know what I mean?
Always does.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. But here we go. It is Dega. It is the opening round of the playoffs. It is myself, James Parfitt, Kenton Sportak, gonna bring you this one. Gonna bring you the action. This full flat racing circuit all the way round. Speeds nearly, and I will say nearly, at 190 miles per hour. Okay, so they will be topping out quite high up in that speed area. So let's see what's going to happen here as well. Who's your money on, Kenton?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to throw a dart here and go with... you know what? I'm hopping on the train. We're going to go Spainhour.
Ooh.
Maiden win right now. That's what we're going for.
You tea leaf. Still my man, y'all. He's got my man. Selena, what do you reckon the chances of you winning? Selena, tell me what you think. I know you type and do wonderful things in the same thing. So tell me what you think. Do you think you're going to win? Because if so, I'm going to go with you, as my boy's been stolen. What do we reckon, Selena? Do we believe Selena Thompson will win this one? Well, let's find out. Here we go. We are going to be up and running. The opening playoff round is going to be very, very shortly underway, Kenton, and it's gonna be amazing here as well. We're coming into that Geico restart zone. Selena Thompson is ready to go. She's got a foot on the pedal, and we're gonna be up and running. We are green. 2 lanes of racing commences here for this playoff. Round 1, and it is Selena Thompson leading the pack. 2 lines at the moment, Kenton. Do we reckon we're going to see 2 all the way through?
Oh yeah. This will be very similar to Daytona in that regard. It'll be 2 the whole way, as Stockner giving a little bit of a bump very early to I believe that's the 4-car of Keith. That outside line seemingly working there. So a nice little bump draft of Almquist on Jamelin, sorry. And this is where you're going to start seeing some very interesting kind of thought processes. So the 4 of Keith just went up, and he's going to drop off the back of this very fast here. This bottom group seems to be working pretty well together. You've got Jamelin getting his push from Almquist, and Selena getting her push a little bit from, I believe that's Williams.
Yeah, the 34 behind.
The 34 there, yeah. So Spainhauer and I believe that's Stockner there. They got to really get closer together on the straightaways. The closer you are, the more the draft works in your favor. If you have big gaps between you guys, you're just going to have less pushing power. You want to kind of utilize as much as you can. As Keith gives, that's a little sketchy. You don't really want 2 cars pushing into the back of 1. That can yep, there goes Spainhauer up north. We are 4 wide. That's not going to end well.
Oh no! And there it is. Why? Why do we get a caution on a full flat circuit like this, but we go to Kansas or Chicago or Darlington and we barely have any? We come to a super speedway like this, Kenton, and it all just goes Pete Tong. It goes south quick. You know what I mean? And there's so many people involved in this, I don't even know where to start, to be honest, because I'm trying to find the beginning of it all, and at the moment, well, I'm going to believe it's going to kick off here. I've got a funny feeling it's up the road, to be honest. I think it's going to be more here. So there's Keith going round. And it started with a contact on Spainhauer, right? Ria Subra's there as well. Williams goes in, just misses Malcolm. Williams then goes round. That's the 91 straight into the front, which is Collicott. Witt's in there as well. The magical non-liveried car is in there, which I can't quite work out at the moment. The 18 is in there, and, well, the rest is kind of history, because here comes everyone else.
Yeah, and it's just a collection at that point, and survival if you can. And this one, this is on a little bit on Keith here. You don't push the pusher, as odd as that's going to sound. So when it comes to bump drafting and things like that, when you're pushing or being pushed, if you're pushing a car and someone bumps you from behind, you're doing so much to stay in line with the car ahead of you that when you get jostled again, it's going to kick you out just that little bit. And with that sent Spainhauer up high, which then caused him to lose the draft he was in, which caused him to go backwards. Keith, unfortunately, trying to then avoid Spainhauer, turns left right down onto Ria there. And unfortunately, that's going to be what sets this whole thing off.
And then Michael Massey, full brakes there in the 11 Killer Brownie, manages to get the car stopped. Well, that's just. It's really weird, because as we know, like, I have my little race notes that I write things down on. Partly because I'm old and I forget what actually happened if I don't write it down. And I just haven't got enough room to write all the names down that were involved in this. So we'll start with Spainhauer and Keith. Then we've got Roberts. Then we've got Subra. Then we've got Michael Massey. Then we've got Anthony Radel, Joshua Kern, Diane Michael. Alex Witt was also in there as well, if I'm not mistaken. So there was quite a few people involved in all of that.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be quite a few that were kind of tied up in that entire thing. And unfortunately, not how you want to start one of these sort of tracks, because this will be one of those ones where you will bleed yellows very quickly. So we're hopefully going to avoid as much of that as we can.
But why do we bleed them here at tracks like this when we can go to some tight tracks and we don't bleed it? This is the thing for me.
So with these tracks, it's kind of, it creates a sense of invincibility because you're not braking and it's just flat out the whole way. So all it is pin it down and that's it. And you just go. It's actually tougher to drive these tracks than people give them credit for, because these, tracks like these are the ones you think of when it's, it's just go fast, turn left.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's way more to it, because like we said, if you're giving someone a bump draft, you do it on a straightaway. If you do it going into a corner, you can disrupt the entire flow of air over the car. It spins them very easily. It can spin you very easily. If you don't line these cars up when you go to bump, it can spin the car in front of you. If you decide to bump someone who's already bumping, giving someone else a bump draft, as we saw on that, it can cause that car to spin very quickly. Like there's just so many factors that come into it. Like you do need to be close, and you want to be nice and tight so that you are utilizing as much of the draft aspect of the race as you can, but at the same time you don't want to be too close that you're getting severe dirty air going into those corners, because that can cause the car to get loose. And so it's a very delicate sort of game you have to play the entire race. There's no really relaxing part of super speedways, because there's so much you have to be doing at every time, opposed to some of the like shorter tracks and stuff like that, where you're braking, so you're not going to be as close as right up on the bumper of a guy going into a corner. You're going to be a little further back because you're going to be braking, whereas here you're basically inside the trunk of the car in front of you for the most part, and you kind of want to lift a little bit going into the corner if you're that close, just to avoid it causing any issues for yourself or the car ahead of you.
All right, well, here we go. It's looking like the pace car lights are off as well. I'm hoping the deliveries will load in, guys. I can only but apologize why all of a sudden certain cars have and certain cars haven't. It was working fine earlier. So let's see what we can do. Hopefully as it goes on, it might settle itself in once more, but we're going to be up and running for the opening round on lap 5. The first caution is going to be gone. Hopefully we won't see another one for quite a while now, as we're once again back up and racing here at Dega. And it is Nicholas Stockdale out in front with Selena Thompson, Andrew Onquist there, all battling away early, Kenton. And another again, we're getting these two lines in. What are we thinking about at this point? What is the plan for these cars at the moment?
In all honesty, it's getting into a rhythm. Yellow flags and constant cautions are just gonna do nothing for you but cause issues, because you're not going to get into a rhythm. You won't be able to utilize any form of a strategy, and you're just stuck kind of dealing with that. What you are going to want to see, so in this case, Selena Thompson was right up on Stockner, and that's perfect. The issue is going to be for them, Jordan Malcolm is a very long distance off compared to Lundqvist just slips himself in there. But you can kind of see how Cullicott and TJ Spanhauer are very close going into this corner, as are now Almquist and Jordan Malcolm. So that's going to have more power than right now where Selena is, that she's a little further back. So you might see cars trying to hop up and down, trying to create a little bit of a run. But you want to make sure you're working with a teammate, because if you try to go for a run that's there and you hop out into that second line and there's no car with you, you're going to end up just dropping right out the back.
And we've seen that a lot this season, haven't we, as well, when cars just pulling out the draft. Next thing you know, they're going backwards.
Yep.
So,
and I mean, you saw it a little bit there. So these four cars, I believe that's the 56, the 83, the 65, and the 32, they sort of are working together, and that's why that group of four started to pull ahead of Spanhauer and Cullicott, because there was just two. The more cars you have in a draft working sort of together, the better you're going to have it. The more you're going to be able to create that speed. So that's why you can see the bottom line is moving so much further and so much faster than that top line is. It's just, you can see the top line is not working together nearly as well as that bottom lane is.
No, well, Spanhauer's backed off and just hung out Cullicott like a dirty pair of trousers on the washing line there, unfortunately, as Cullicott has just literally slid down the order. So for Devon Cullicott, that didn't quite work out there, did it? You know what I mean? He kind of just got strung out there. At the moment Spanhauer decided to duck off, Cullicott just went backwards.
Yeah, he definitely did. And you can see Jackowitz looking to make a move kind of around Seth Pegg.
Simon Pegg.
And you're going to... Yes, Simon Pegg. Yeah. Okay. We have a pretty solid group here. But because he went out wide and on the side of Seth it's actually going to be a hindrance to both of them. So there is very, very drastic side drafting in these cars as well. And basically what it is as you're driving beside a car, you are only getting half of the air they're displacing directly into your car. Well, you're still also getting the full air coming into you. But when you're beside them and a little further back, what it does is it pops the air off of you again and into their spoiler, which actually can cause them to really slow down as well. So you kind of drag both of you backwards. It's a very handy tactic if you're near the front. A really hard thing to utilize and have go well if you're if you're near the back and sort of where Cullycott was there. It does just make it a little bit harder.
No, I was surprised Spainhow come out on that line. I am shocked he did that, to be fair. He was running so much better on that inner line. Now he's trying to work with the 65 there. And that's Andrew Jamalin. Here as well. So and now Spainhow has been strung up like a pair of dirty washing, because he needs to now get back in as well, because as you see there, Andrew, as soon as he had a chance, just ducked straight in on that bottom line.
Yeah, and you need to find a teammate that you can work really well with and that you trust to push, or trusts you to push, because you can see that 83 car just dropped right back. He went out, and I believe that's Joshua Kuhn, Joshua Kuhn. As soon as you get out of line and lose that draft, you're going to lose and scrub all speed off, because you're just not getting any of that slipstream. But you need to have the car behind you or ahead of you that's willing to be pushed, or if it's behind you, willing to push, that you trust to do so. Because if you start pushing on, and you don't trust the car ahead of you, then you really don't know. And you can see this little, that's really unfortunate for Calvin Ross, as he kind of got forced out, as we had about 3 cars all bump each other in a little bit of a draft there. But that's kind of the problem. So they're not really working together. They're all working for themselves, kind of thing. So you'll see someone try and bump the car ahead of them, not realizing they're right beside the car, or right on the car ahead of them. And then it's causing this kind of ripple effect of bumps, have to slow down, bump, have to slow down. So working with 2 or 3 usually actually works out better, because you can, especially if they're teammates, because you can kind of communicate a little bit and sort of work really well together to get that extra speed and get that sort of pacing that you want. I don't know what's
he got shot there, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a huge rush, and that once again kind of leaves Calvin Ross having to battle his way back in.
Yeah, I was going to say, Spainhow come through like an absolute rocket there as well. It was like everybody else wasn't moving at that point, with TJ making his absolute barnstorming run through. Stockner's still out in front. I do apologise again about the liveries, guys. I'm not entirely sure why all of a sudden certain cars are not loading. There is literally a few cars that are not loading, and that is it. Everybody else's is. So I do deeply apologise about the fact that some of them are not working correctly at the moment, but we can see on board here with Jordan Malcolm, who's is working perfectly fine. Let's have a look. Track temp 32 degrees, so not exceedingly hot at this moment in time here. So this could get interesting, right? At the moment I feel like I'm watching a game of chess, and it's all about clicking off laps, one after the other, and just clicking them off, another lap gone. Let's talk about pit stops. Where are we looking, do we think, here as well? 50, do we think they can nearly get to the end on one stop?
No, not even close. With a 75%, I believe from what I've heard, you'd be looking 35 to 40.
Right. They have got 75%. Yeah.
Sorry?
They are on 75% fuel.
Yeah, if it was 100%, you'd be, I think it's about 70-ish laps, so you'd be really close on 100% for this. But yeah, with having 70% or 75, I'd say probably closer to about 40 laps is when we'll start, sort of around that area is when we'll see people coming in, barring whoever did pit for a splash and dash for on that first yellow as well.
That was Stockner.
And Selena.
Yes. Selena and Stockner there. Look, I'm not entirely sure. We'll give it a minute to settle down because my screen has all of a sudden shot people off all over the place. And let's see what we can find out on this one here as well. That looked a very interesting one. I'm not going to lie there.
Oh, no. Yeah. It looks like, I believe Stockner went a little high. Selena tried to take advantage of it, and then Stockner came right back down. You can see where Stockner is the white car, how he's really high in that lane, and Selena went to go underneath him. And unfortunately, at the same time, Stockner tried to get back down below there. And that's, unfortunately, one car already owning that place, and another car is just not going to fit there.
Very nice way of putting it there, Kenton.
Yeah, right?
I know. Who knew?
Who knew I knew how to word things?
I know. Should be proud of yourself. Caution 2 on lap 15 here as well. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have just joined us as well, this is the playoff round 1 here at Dega, and we are 2 cautions deep on lap 15. Another 15 laps, and we are on the stage here as well. Green flag pit stops, as Kenton predicted, should be round about lap 40 at the most, we would have thought. But let's see who takes the opportunity to dive in, who doesn't take the opportunity to dive in, and who manages to survive. But let's see who's going to survive Dega. 30 cars on track here. It's anyone's game.
That's the beauty of NASCAR is no matter what you do, you always have a shot as long as you're on that lead lap.
Exactly. Exactamon, mon ami. Okay, so we've got Spainhour in, Collicott in, Strada in, Subra's in, Bettini's in, Massey's in, Radle's in, Peg's in, Stockner's in, Sherman's in, and Kuhn is in the pits. So, yeah. There's a lot of people who've decided to dive in.
And I mean, it kind of makes some sense if you hop in now, when we start getting to the point of the stage break at lap 30, depending on how well you were saving fuel and things, you might be running on kind of fumes at that point. And if you've already come in, gotten your fuel, gotten back out, now you're going to have an opportunity to take your second pit stop, which most likely will happen, or I'd say probably close to about 55, 60. Because most people are going to fill up at the stage break at 30, so I don't see, no one's going to try and push to 40 when you can just take advantage of a stage break. If you have to do your second one at 60, or if you can push to, might have to go in a little early, then by the time everyone else is having to come in at 60 laps, you're now up ahead. So we'll see how it all plays out. But it could get very interesting and allow for a few strategy calls now.
We will find out how this one pans out. How is it going to work? Who's going to take the victory? Is it going to be the guys in the playoffs? Is it going to be somebody completely unaware? Who do we think? Let us know in chat. Obviously, the Spain are massive. We'll just put TJ. I get that. But let's see if anybody else comes in with anybody else. Thanks so much to everybody who's joined us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the bells, because we've got a lot more racing coming up as well. Don't forget to like at least, guys. It is completely free. It doesn't cost you a single penny. It's an amazing button. Press it. So there you go. Right. Still can't get a certain ones of these liveries loaded in. They're driving me crazy. Some are, some aren't. And the rest have just said no. So there we go. Unfortunately, guys, as well. Tried. There is one more thing I could try, but I would have to duck out for a minute and check. But we'll leave it for a minute, maybe on the next caution, because they are all started to file in. Here once more. Thomas Coons.
Rodney Roberts got the himself-sponsored car. The me car with the Cougar.
Yeah, on the top.
Yeah, fantastic. Classic movie, Talladega. Talladega Nights in Talladega.
Yes. That is good. I really wanted a Carl Trickle Days of Thunder car. You know?
Oh, yeah. You see those every once in a while in oval racing as it is now.
Yeah, I think I would have that
noticed a
livery.
few.
I would have that livery. I think. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, you never know. It would be an interesting one anyway. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely no Carl Trickle. I'm probably more the other guy who puts him in the wall, to be honest. But there we go. Let's see what happens. As you can see, people's paints are loading in and loading out and coming in and coming out. Hopefully, that's a good sign. But judging by that white car coming in the bottom right-hand corner there, it's not. So, there we go. Yeah, it's all gone out the window, Kenton, hasn't it?
It's all good.
Yeah.
We can guess.
We will be guessing as well, young man, because without a number or any paint scheme on it, we are in the dark, to be honest. But here we go. We're going to be up and running. There is Blake Lewis still in the pits and has been for about 12 minutes. As you can see, the cars are going to be coming through very, very shortly. On your top right-hand corner of your screen, here they come. Once more into that Geico restart zone once more, and it is gone. Rob Sizemore is already made that move here, Kenton, and he is out in front and pushed that limit straight away. And now we settle in again. Now we're going again. Do you look at moving your way to the front? Do you look at sitting in the back? What are you doing in the car? What do we think we're going to be doing?
Well, the first thing I'm going to mention, Rod Sizemore got too much of a lead, and that's going to sound hilarious because we always talk about how great Alex Witt is as we see a cavalcade of guys bump drafting right behind him. But we always talk about, he gets such great jumps, and he's able to get out front and get that kind of gap there. With super speedways, it doesn't work. As we have another issue going on.
Where are you? There it is. See it at the bottom of your screen?
Collicott and Selena, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm wondering where that would have come from, to be fair.
Not really sure.
Where you going with that one?
It's hard to say. It kind of looks like
there's a gap there.
Selena makes contact, but it looks like there's a gap. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's. It kind of looks like almost a little net code. Because especially the direction he spins. Because if Collicott had taken a bump where Selena was, it would have sent his car up to the wall, not down. So I think that's a net code thinking she came up on him opposed to straight. And that looks like a net code issue. Yeah, no, that looks like a net code problem there.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was as well. Guys, give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to put you on the start screen a minute. I want to try and have a look at these liveries. They're driving me crazy. 2 seconds. Okay, guys, we are back. I did just try and look and see if there was a certain setting that had decided it wanted to turn itself back out again, and it unfortunately isn't. As Rob Sizemore goes off the side under a caution there, which that was interesting.
What was that? Yeah,
I'm not really sure if Sizemore went up on his own or if he was helped here. Whoa, Malcolm and Michael. Malcolm and Michael, and then sent Sizemore round. Good job we're under caution, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I wonder what that's about.
Yes, I think on the next one we might get an interview in here, so we haven't spoken to any of the drivers as of yet. But that was a little bit strange. So there you go. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us as well. MPK228, nice and early, kids. Yeah, I think that was back on the first caution. Apologies for missing your message here as well. It's been a very interesting opening 20 laps. And I think one of the things that we can safely say is that we're now starting to leak just a little bit on a tap who still is going. I'm not going to lie. We're just popping a little bit of water out the side of the caution section at the moment here, Kenton. And it's not really something we want to be doing.
Yeah. Like I said, you want... Yeah, I was trying to... I was actually monitoring because it looks like Jordan Malcolm's going to be given a EOL penalty for that incident there with Dan Michael and Almquist, or not Almquist, Sizemore. Yeah. So he's going to have an end of line penalty and have to deal with that now. But basically, it's not you doing this and having this many cautions already. I mean, it is, like you're like, oh, it's 21 laps. It's a caution every 7 laps. It is a lot. Obviously, it's 1 every 7 laps. It's not really how you get into a rhythm.
No.
These laps are very long. This is the longest track in all of NASCAR. It's 2.6 kilometers or miles, sorry. But at the same time, you don't want to be dealing with cautions after caution after caution, because it throws your ability to get into a rhythm, but also any strategy you have or had going into the race is kind of negated by so many cautions that it just becomes let's see who gets lucky and is near the front at the time of the caution, because otherwise there's nothing you can do. So we definitely want to avoid this as much as you can, especially if you're a car not at the exact front.
Yeah. What was with the intentional spin under yellow? We're not sure what happened there as well. All we know that Jordan Malcolm has been served with a end-of-line penalty, so he is now at the back. Is Jordan Malcolm. The pace car will be going in again really very shortly, and we will be back up and running. Stage break in 9 laps, so Kenton, can we get there without a caution in the middle?
I hope so. That'd be really nice if we can do it, and then we can at least kind of get everything organized, and people can kind of get ready for the second sort of half of the race and not deal with it.
Well, we're going to find out here as well. BSC Round 1 playoffs at Dega. Who's going to win? Who's going to take it? Who's going to get it? We are coming into that restart zone as well. There's still 4 liveries or 5 that will not load in, which is really annoying on my part. But it is Rodney Roberts. Don't jump too far. We have learnt this already, Ken and Avoy. They cannot be jumping too far at the beginning. They need that help from the group behind.
Yeah, and that was kind of what we were talking about with Sizemore there. If you get too much of a gap, it allows the guys behind you to really work together, and you're left kind of solo. They can just straight take over very quickly, and you're going to be kind of hung out to dry a little bit. So you want to get definitely up to speed properly, but you don't want to, get a huge gap jump right away, because it's just going to send you to no man's land very fast there. As actually, Witt, I just saw climbing up. I think he had just passed like 3 or 4 cars really quickly there, and he's got himself back up into the top 6. As Calvin Ross goes for a little adventure.
Oh, dearie me. Here we go. Hopefully it won't be kicking off once more, but Calvin Ross has managed to survive this one, Kenton. He is still running here once again. There's a lot of lane swapping. Jordan Malcolm making moves further back as well. TJ's in that bottom line. He's got to get moving on this one here as we're coming in. So hopefully we might just reach that stage break if we can, Kenton, without any further more incidents. However, there is a lot of bumping and grinding going on here currently.
Yeah, and like I said, so this little pack of 3 here, you can kind of see how, I was just going to say, you can see how they trust each other to not bump on the corners. As Malcolm almost, oh my goodness, Dan Michael almost makes contact, and now they're in a little bit of a tight spot there. Dan Michael needs to really kind of settle his car down. He's getting a little loose coming out of these corners. And if you're driving in front of him and he's coming to give you a nice little bump draft, you really don't want him swerving like that when he's coming towards you, because that's when things go south very quickly. You also don't like seeing 3 wide too often.
3 wide there as well, which is not an ideal scenario with the 56 there. Andrew Elmquist, Rob Sizemore, I believe it's probably Ryan McLennan, Calvin Ross.
There it goes.
There we go.
Yep.
We kind of called that one was going to be coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
It actually starts down here. Look. All this ebbing and flowing, that outside car just comes straight down on Ross, who went straight into the other one. And unfortunately, Calvin Ross has gone round on lap 24. So 6 laps deep before Ross made contact. It's a tough one because we don't actually know who the car on the outside is. I'm going to probably put it as stock.
It looks like that's 83.
Joshua Kuhn.
83 is who came down. Yeah, so Kuhn made contact with Calvin Ross, and Ross came down on Stockner.
Okay. Glad somebody's paints are working, because mine are clearly not.
Yeah, I don't know why mine are, but
yeah,
mine are, but like aren't. It's weird. Like Calvin Ross for me is just a blue car with a 20 on it, so it sort of works.
Well, at least you can see some of them. I've got Calvin Ross in his normal Calvin Ross livery with the Killer Brownies, which is great. And then I got the likes of Joshua Kuhn clearly in white as well. So there we go. Right. I'll tell you what, I'm going after somebody now. Where are you? I'm going to have a quick chat with our very own Michael Massey, who is... Hold on, I'll give him a minute to reach his pit box. There we go.
I'm good.
There we go.
Yeah, good. Armand Brousseau, what is happening out there at the moment?
A lot of people being impatient and not using their brain.
Okay. Fair one. We obviously saw that, the big lumps of what was going on in the driver's briefing. What was specifically said to them in the driver's briefing?
The driver's meeting was mostly just about what the length of schedule is going to be next season.
Oh.
It wasn't anything on track related except for what next season is going to entail.
Okay. So we're going to do the 100% races that we spoke about. Me and Kenton will be here till about 4 or 5 hours. Is that right?
We are going to do a 100% NASCAR schedule. We are not going to be doing 100% NASCAR races.
Oh, okay. That was worth a try, Kenton. Worth a try.
I mean...
You know what I mean? That'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it? Me and you sat here chin-wagging for 5 hours.
I did the Daytona 500 race this year. That was... It's a long time.
It definitely is. Drive. All right, Armand, what's the plan for you then, sir? Because at the moment we're 4 cautions deep. Are we coming in another 4 laps for the stage break, or are we going to count this as the stage break?
No, this will be counted as stage break.
Right, okay. No worries at all. Well, Armand Brousseau, I will let you get back on. Good luck. Hope it works out for you. And go give it some.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the race, guys.
Hopefully we will do. Take care, buddy.
Take care.
Oh, no, I think I put Armand in the wrong... No, have I? We are hiding. Yeah, he's in there. Okay, so we're definitely on a schedule of a full NASCAR season, right? Well, that's fine. So we're going to run from February through to December, aren't we? Is it February to December?
For next season? Like, are we going to match the NASCAR season?
I'm going to presume so, to the best of our ability.
Okay, well, if that is the case, and we're going to go off the Cup Series, I believe the very first race... So it all kind of is going to depend if they decide to do the Clash at the Coliseum to start, or if they're going to do the Daytona 500 weekend as the start. So it's either beginning of February, which is the Clash of the Coliseum, was early February, or the Daytona 500, which was the 19th of February this year.
Okay. And then when do they finish?
And it goes, so playoffs start on the 3rd of September this year.
So they've
and
already
the
started.
final playoff race is November 5th.
Okay. Well, this could be an exciting one then. Could have a February to November season.
Could definitely get really interesting for sure.
Yes, it definitely can do. So there we go. You heard that little bit of tidbit.
Not sure how you're going to feel about it though.
Why?
Okay, so let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like about 5 or 6 road courses. I felt you just like disappeared.
Especially if Chicago's on there, you are going to see me disappear.
Oh, even better. Chicago Street Circuit is on there.
Bleh.
That was last year. I'm not sure if what the plan is for 2024 though.
Oh, please don't. Take it back to the Chicago Speedway. Don't put it on. Don't put it on that. Please, for the love of God, do not put it on that circuit. All right, here we go. We're going to be up and running. This is the stage break now. So now we're on, hopefully, a sprint to the end here as we're on 27 laps of 75. And now we're back up and running, and the normal protagonists are starting to move their way through the field here. Dan Michael, Andrew Williams, Alex Witt, Noel Jackowitz. They're all... Oh, we didn't even go anywhere.
Oh.
We did not even go a corner. That was somewhat disappointing.
Yep.
I'm trying to find where it went, just to let you all know as well, because I've got a funny feeling it went a little bit further up here, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's going to be around here. There it is.
Double bumping.
Yeah, off Norberg. Norberg up through the middle of the track. A lovely great car. Selena Thompson in the wall. Seth Pegg taking as wide of a berth as he possibly can. Jordan Malcolm's just stuck there going, well, I've got nowhere to go. Neither has Armand Brusso. Straight into the side of Ria Subra. And Matthew Norberg, I believe, was in that one, but not necessarily responsible for that. I've got a funny feeling either, wasn't he? Is that Stockner behind him?
Kern.
Or is that Kern again? Or Joshua Kuhn?
No,
nope.
It wasn't Kern. It was like Kern went to go give him a little bit of a bump, but then he kind of he makes contact, and then it looks like Almquist has enough speed coming behind him, who makes contact again with Kern, which then shoves him back into Norberg, and that's what sends the whole thing around.
All right, well, there you go. We went a couple of laps, everyone. Actually, we didn't even go that, did we? We went a couple of yards, practically. So,
yep.
Well, might have to stop for food and water if this carries on.
But on that note, so for some interesting things, because I'm checking out what's possible for the 2024 NASCAR schedule.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me you were going to go make me a coffee or something. I was like, oh, thanks.
I mean, I can. It might be a little cold by the time it gets there, though.
Well, yeah, maybe. Anyway, let's hear it, Kenton.
Confirmed schedule changes. 2023 at Auto Club Speedway is no longer going to be a thing.
Okay.
Auto Club's, the 2 mile race. The track is being reconfigured to become a short track. So they will not be running it in 2024 while it's being under construction.
Okay.
NASCAR announcing that the spring Bristol race would return to being run on concrete. After the last 3 years, it's been run on dirt.
Okay.
But we'll still continue to have 2. And then rumored schedule changes is that Indianapolis is going to switch back to the oval instead of the road course that it was this year. So there's a chance that you might not have to worry about that one.
Good.
North Wilkesboro Speedway will become a points race opposed to an all-star race, which would actually going to be a nice kind of thing there, which would be cool. Which would allow Rockingham to return as the all-star race.
Chicago.
The COTA will be expected back for 2024, so that road track won't go anywhere. City of Chicago, the Chicago Street Race will be there again. The one that you're going to also not be happy about, though, is its potential return to the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. So we might get that fun time of a road course at Montreal.
Why? Why? Like,
they got to replace Indianapolis.
Yeah, but they've replaced it. They put it back on the oval. Good job done. Well done. Congratulations. You've replaced it. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to Canada. You're not even in America once you go up to Gilles Villeneuve. It's...
Yep.
I wish the organisers of NASCAR would contact me and say, James, what do you think of this schedule? And I'd be like, no. Get rid of these circuits. You can have COTA because that's not too bad, and Watkins Glen, but Jesus, man, dump Chicago because that's about as useful as a chocolate kettle in a sauna. And Indianapolis they put back on the oval, which is better than that somewhat, oh look, we've stuck corners on our infield and therefore we've made a road circuit. Did you really though? Let's be honest. You know, so I really don't know. I don't know. Partly because, just why? Why does anybody want to watch these big gruffing machines who are more like house bricks on wheels than they are an aerodynamic piece of masterpiece? Why would you want to put them on a road circuit? Why? You know what I mean?
I mean, the NASCAR team did pretty well at Le Mans.
Yeah, but just no. And yes, I did say about as useful as a chocolate kettle in a sauna.
I've never heard that before. I like it.
Yeah, it would just melt, wouldn't it? It's not going to do anything. It ain't going to boil me water and make me no cup of tea. It's literally just going to melt as soon as I put it in the sauna. So, yeah, it's about as useful as that. Or another one you could say is about as useful as a chocolate fire guard. Either way, they ain't going to work. So, yeah, and there shouldn't be this many yellows at Dega. It's full flat run. Just don't do anything silly, and clearly that's not the case that we're looking at currently. I don't know. I think Mr. Spainhour Senior and yeah, Billy's there. I hate road courses. I get COTA, right, in Texas. I get it. I understand that one a little bit because, you know, theoretically it can suit these cars. And Watkins Glen, I understand as well. Upstate New York, I get all that. I don't get an Indianapolis when you've got a perfectly good oval on the outside. You know what I mean?
Well, they are going to the back to the oval, so that's not apparently for 2024. That's the expectation, is that'll go back to the oval. But yeah, it's because I'm trying to remember. Okay, so Worldwide Technology Raceway, that's their oval, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd have. It looks like we're actually about to go green. We'll talk about this after.
Okay, we are on lap 31, and we are up and running once more now, guys. Here we go. This race is commencing. There shouldn't be this many. I get it. Brad, I fully do understand if you want to jump down and tell every single one of these drivers, why are we getting these so much at Dega? Partly because people are pushing the pusher, as Kenton calls him. And then it all goes a little bit wrong here once more. So you've got to stay and be sensible. Michael down in 26th with Norberg down in 28th. Strada in 21st at the moment as well. They've got to make some big old moves here. McLaughlin 12th, Roberts 18th, Strada in 21. Collicott, Carlson, Jackowitz, Williams. Well, they're doing all right. 2 wide, 32. Let's see how we get on once more. 43 on the clock. Can we get past with not more cautions, please, sir?
I'd be down for that. But
Me
yeah,
too. Me too.
It adds a little more fun to the race when you get to see these cars actually driving.
Yes,
that does
I agree.
it makes it a little more fun. As we talk about, Alex Witt has managed to make his way up to near the front again, because for some reason you can never count him out, no matter where he starts on the track.
I
Jack Witz gives him a little bit of a bump.
Yeah, I think he just did the last to first challenge. He was right about, wasn't he?
I like it.
You know what I mean? MP Cadell, I never knew yellows could be so entertaining. Well, you get me on two things and you'll get entertainment. NASCAR's on road circuits or blue flags on normal circuits. Get me on either them topic and you're in trouble.
You really want to get him going. Ask him about blue flags on road courses for NASCAR.
No, don't do it.
We'll be here for days.
Yeah, you definitely will be as well. Look, I get money talks, and I fully understand that in the NASCAR world, right? And, I'd love to be able to say, look, come, I'll give you 100 million. You build a dodgy road circuit round my little town that's got more sheep than humans, and I'll give you 100 million for it. And look, I can showcase I've got NASCAR. That is practically what Chicago did. They basically just turned around and went, look, here's some money. We'll do a square, and then what we'll do is we'll link it to another square, and then what I'll do is I'll take it home and get my 6-year-old daughter just to fill in the bits in the middle. And that's practically it. And why are we under yellow again?
I didn't want to interrupt you. You seemed you were on a roll.
I was. I need to find Dan
believe
Michael.
It was Sizemore. Was it Dan Michael?
Well, I think it was. That's who I've got.
I saw Sizemore dropping down very fast.
Nope. There it is. Does it go again at him? There goes Radel. Okay, there's bits missing of a car there. Hold on. So there goes Radel. So was that Joshua Keefe and Gregory Sherman who caused that? No, he's already gone as well. Bit of a strange one, this, sir. I've got a funny feeling it was up here. There it is. See it there? The fall. So that was Jordan Malcolm as well, wasn't it? Kenton.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here. For some reason, I'm not getting the same angles. Okay, here. Oh, no, UN. Okay, here we go. Now I can see.
Yeah, so Jordan Malcolm.
So I see Malcolm on the outside of Key. That looks like Sizemore loses it.
Yeah, and then it all just goes Pete Tong for caution number 6 on lap 34.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like Sizemore coming out of that corner either just got too much speed going into it, or which sounds funny, but or just overturned it and it caused his car, because he kind of looks like he's a little loose where he cuts down, and unfortunately for Jordan Malcolm, there's not really anywhere for him to go at that point. I'm not really sure, but yeah, that's an unfortunate continuation of these fantastic cars.
And the thing is as well, right, I'm just loving Pika's conversation. She said, honey, I barely understand NASCAR, so you can complain to me all day. That's great. Hit me up in a DM. We'll arrange a call. I'll put the worlds to rights in your ear. And literally, I will complain all day. Go back further, says Brad. How rude, telling me how to do my job. Brad Young. Spain hours, brother. Anyway, I think my coffee's kicked in. I'm not going to lie, guys. Yeah, there we go. Lap 36, Kenton. Talk.
I'm just letting you go on here. It's a little entertaining here.
I think my coffee's kicked in, and it's just kind of.
Coffee's kicked in.
I think my coffee's kicked in, and it's just kind of spiked my verbal diarrhea at the moment.
That's entirely fair. It's always more more entertaining for everybody. Also, can we talk about how the safety car looks like it was floating for a second there? All right, it's back on the ground. I don't know what's happening. It looked really weird. The iRacing is just having a time. But yeah, no, I don't know why they love their road courses, but
I don't know.
And I agree. Chicago's street circuit is terrible.
It is.
It is absolutely awful.
It is. It's two squares joined by a line. It's just. It's ridiculous.
I know how they make it better, though.
Don't put it there. Just move it onto the speedway, which is within the same area. No.
Buff all the cars up. Add a little extra weight to them.
Mm-hmm.
Put ramps in each direction. At the joining section, and you make it a figure 8 race. So actually not in each direction, sorry, on one side. So one going across.
Mm-hmm.
That way you go off the jump over the cars that are going underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Then you do the one square, and then you come back through without the jump and go underneath the cars going over and do the other square.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't hit the jump right, or you don't have enough speed and you crash into another car, you're not allowed to pit at all. It's like a demolition derby race. I think NASCAR demo on the street circuit in Chicago.
Chicago.
Let's do it.
I would do that just to see the track get trashed.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Just to see it get wrecked. Because I don't know. Like, you know, it's like F1 going to Vegas, and it's just, you know, it's quite interesting, F1, you know, because they sit back and go, oh yeah, we're going to be carbon neutral, we're going to be carbon zero. Yeah, I bet the guy who puts your flight plan together probably ain't thinking that by the time you've jetted from one side to the other, 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 of the other side of the world. You know what I mean? So I don't think F1 are ever going to reach the carbon neutral, especially for the amount of planes that they're sending up in the air every single week. So, yes, not a good calendar for the F1, shall we say. I cannot begin to describe how upset I am, says Ria. Ria, you're not, you know, don't even go there. You can feel for me and Kenton. We're in the booth. You're lucky I like you guys, because the amount of swear words I want to use is obscene. Well, please don't, but we're going to get going once more here as well. Here they come now. Up and running on lap 37. And let's see how long we can get this. Come on, boys and girls. Gee whiz, Batman.
Oh, no. Rhea money shifted.
Rhea, I feel
that's your race there.
Oh.
So, you know what money shifting is?
Is it when you move it from your left hand to your right hand?
No, money shifting is where you shift down by accident a little early and it pops your engine. And so it's referred to as a money shift because it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Oh, there's me thinking it was just the
engine.
There's me thinking it was just the wife going through my wallet and taking my credit card. You know what I mean?
It's not quite the same thing, but yeah, I get it. That's fair.
She can spend just as much as a new engine. I can tell you that much. Don't you get me wrong about that. Oh, come on. Chris is strung out on the outside here. He can't get in. He can't get out. You've got to put it in soon, buddy. There's a gap there down below Jordan Malcolm. Come on. In you come. In you come. Okay, don't listen to me. It's fine. You carry on running that outside line and dropping down the order there as well. Alex Witt still out in front with Noel Jackowitz, Andrew Williams, and Andrew Jamelin. I'm sure it's one. Here once more. So let's see how they get on. Hopefully we'll get some laps under.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% okay if we start getting some laps under. I'm just going to point out Spain was an 8-2. He's holding on.
I should hope so. He's going to go and win today.
Right?
It
could happen.
It could happen. I hope he does. He deserves it. He puts a lot of effort in, and then, you know, he just gets unlucky, I think, for Terry. I think that's the problem. You know what I mean? And it just needs to, you know, pick up on what others are doing around you and make that decision. If you're going to go into the pits, go into the pits. You don't need to go in there every single yellow. You don't need to follow. You know, work alongside your team. And he's got a great team alongside him, you know, to work with him. So at the end of the day, I think they should be all right. And I think, you know, Brandon McLaughlin, Hunter Carlson, TJ working alongside each other. Hopefully they will be able to get their cars moving up here as well. I just wasn't paying attention, knew I was in too high a gear, shifted down and hit a few times. No, and hit it a few times just thinking I wasn't on the clutch, and it was, and I let off, and I went from 5th to 4th to 2nd. Ouch.
Yeah.
That will do it. Come on, guys. Get us 30 laps in here, at least, before we hit another yellow. At least. So there we go, Kenton. Still going at Dega. Lap 41 of the 200 miles are giving me the here as well. 34 to go.
Yeah, at least I don't want to say anything about how far we've gone because I see cars whipping and flipping in the background there. But Witt and Jackwitz Williams working well together here. That little three group. As we can see cars deciding, hey, high line, no, bottom line, no, high line.
That would be me. I'm the man in traffic that moves to the fastest road that's running. You know what I mean? The fastest lane that's running. So I would happily jump to the outside because it's moving faster and then I'll come back. So NASCAR is probably right up my alley, to be honest, because I could probably just go up and down like a yo-yo. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a game that they can play, but they're going to have to play it carefully, right? Because if you start getting this a little bit wrong, this whole nice streamlined effect that we're almost got is going to turn into a puzzle thrown on the floor. So they've got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, it's definitely very precarious. It's like a card tower in a lot of ways. Like you build it, but one small mistake takes the entire thing apart. And it looked like we were going to see that there as Calvin Ross, Michael Massey, Armin Brusso, and Jordan Malcolm almost came together and caused a little bit of an issue, but they managed to keep it going. The big thing that you want to see, though, if you're the top line, Armin Brusso needs to get closer to, I believe that's Kuhn there. They're too much of a space, and TJ needs to get closer, as does Selena. There's just too many gaps. So that little group of three that's ahead of Armin Brusso there, they're working well together. You can see they're close, going into the corners. They're making sure they're not touching or anything like that. There's a little bit of space. That's what you want to see. Once you're starting to see these car width gaps showing up and things like that on the other line, that's when you start seeing cars no longer able to really utilize that speed. So Cody Kern, he also needs to get caught up. Jamelin needs to also get caught up. Dan Michael, if him and Jordan Malcolm are planning to do anything, they need to get much closer together. And they need Calvin Ross to really commit to that, because right now they're sort of floating with three, and Jordan Malcolm's kind of weaving and bobbing all over the place like he's trying to dodge Mike Tyson punches here. So they need to kind of control the car, to have a little patience. Take that, split second to kind of get into a good position.
What about? Oh,
that works too. This looks like it's a problem. I keep seeing smoke, but no cars.
Yeah, I'm trying to find Strada. He's in there somewhere. Christian Strada there. I got a funny feeling that's one of the deliveries that isn't loading in correctly. Or it could be just the grey one, actually, to be honest. It could be Michael McClelland as well, as he's had an incident. So, yeah, it starts off with Strada. Well, that's Selena Thompson. Unfortunately, I've been writing her name down a few times here, and I can't work out who the car is that's white. I think that's not.
I think that is Strada.
It is Strada in the. Is he in the grey or is he in the white?
No, the grey one is.
Radal's 21, and Stockner is the white car. So.
Oh yes, Stockner's that white car. No, Stockner is the car that was beside. Yeah, okay. So the other white car. There's too many white cars. The gray one for me, I'm trying to see who it was now.
So you're seeing a grey car as well?
I see a gray car and a white car. Well, right now I'm just watching Nicholas Stockner on my end of things. White is Strader.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the gray one is here, but
not
what we want.
Seth Pegg, is that white or grey? I can't actually work that one out here.
I can see his car. It's I can actually see his livery.
Yeah, I can't. I can't. I'm just staring at a white car. Still. After refreshing and refreshing and refreshing. Okay, so we're on lap 46, so we went all of 11 laps. Actually, it's probably less than that by the time they've gone round and completed the 3 and then come back out. Tell you what, I'm off to grab. Where are you? We'll give him a minute to realise he's in the booth. And now we'll bring him in to have a chat. TJ, can you hear us?
Yep.
How's it going out there, buddy?
It's going all right. A little hectic, but you know, it is what it is. I just got a speeding penalty.
Oh, well, you can't.
It'll be all right. I'll try and work my way up as long as the back can stay somewhat clean.
Yeah, it's been a bit messy.
Yeah. I kind of expected it here, though.
Yeah, I think it's weird how we can, certain tighter tracks, TJ, we can run for quite a while, and then we come to here and we're running, seem to be leaking yellows faster than a leaky tap in the kitchen. It seems bizarre to me.
I think it has a lot to do with everyone being able to be in contention. Oh, I need to drop and let everybody by. But yeah, it has a lot to do with everybody being bundled up, and it's so easy to get back into a pack, and everybody wants to fight for position.
I just want everybody to survive, TJ. That would do for me. All right,
yeah.
Bud. Right. Well, good luck, TJ. Let's see how you get on. Kenton's picked you for the win. So go do us proud, TJ. Do us proud.
Well, I'm going to try my best, and I hope I'm talking to you at the end of the race.
I do too, buddy. You take care, and we'll catch up with you soon.
I'll see you.
All right, I've got to remember where his room is now. Yeah, you come out of that one. Okay, so I don't really know where to go with this because people are telling me it's expected at Dega, but I don't get why it would be expected at a track like Dega compared to the fact that we're going, to Auto Club or Homestead. Surely they're more likely to cause me a problem and Dover, you know what I mean, than I am here at a big old wide circuit like this.
Normally I'd sort of agree. Unfortunately, with how, again, it's because it's full out and there's no stopping or braking, so guys are willing to take kind of bigger risks with the thought process that they can really push to get up into the front and just hammer it out and make moves, and they not kind of expecting other cars to also do the same thing. So everyone's kind of all trying to do the same thing at once, and instead of taking that little bit of time to kind of establish where that next car is or the car beside you is that you're trying to get past, it sort of leads into them just causing a collision.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's not fun.
No, it definitely isn't. I think, to be honest, I would be running sensibly. I think that's the thing. Run it sensibly. Stay in your lane. Try and tick off your laps. Position yourself where you're not going to get yourself in trouble. And do all of these things at the moment, Kenton, because it just seems so bizarre to me that people are trying to rush maneuvers on a long circuit, a wide circuit, and where we've still got, 29 laps to go? There just doesn't seem to be a reason to rush it.
No, and that's kind of the thing in a lot of these races. That's something a lot of people need to kind of realize is really outside of the last 20 laps, it's all about just keeping it pointed in the right direction and sort of, yeah, you can jockey for a little bit of position if you need to, or if someone's going slow or things like that, but you're not going to win the race on lap 15, lap 30. There's 75 to go. You have to. What's the saying? To win the race, to finish first you must finish.
Yeah.
And it's true. To finish first, you have to be able to finish.
And if you're not going to be able to keep the car on the race circuit, you're never going to be able to get it done. Alex Witt pulls out, goes straight up to the top there, and takes Noel Jakowitz with him. Andrew Jamalin left to run that bottom line here once more. Cody Kern, Devon Collicott all battling out. You can see the 91 is kind of strung out in the middle of no man's land at the moment. He's not really getting any help. He's catching up to Jakowitz in front as well. So Jamalin, I believe that is Cody Kern in that 23 that's not loading in that front here as well. A lot more tapping at the moment. You can see in the middle there. That's the 32 who just kind of got strung out. That was Hunter Carlson here, Kenton, and he just kind of got left of a dust there.
Yeah, and Almquist kind of went up high on him and sort of left him alone, and that's caused him to sort of drop off the back. But at the same time, it looks like, I believe that's Keith. There's that Kuhn in the 83 that also, Joshua Kuhn, yeah. So he also kind of got strung out a little bit by that entire thing, as him and Hunter Carlson are just beside each other, and neither one wanting to really let the other one get ahead. So now there's this sort of 3 wide that isn't going to help anybody, as they're kind of going to cause each other to side draft, and Selena and Norberg are just going to take off and sort of leave them alone.
Yeah, this is what I don't get. Slot in, innit? Slot in and make use of it. You're side drafted in the underneath. Norberg's just gone through as well, and the 56, Rob Sizemore, sorry. So, did we hold on?
Don't throw it, Brusso. I swear, don't you? Although, yeah, now throw it. Yep, that's. I don't know who that white car was, but going 4 wide was hilariously unnecessary there.
It's not Thomas Kuhn. It's not Hunter Carlson. Selena Thompson. Could it be Brown and McLaughlin? It is. Brown and McLaughlin in the 81. Sends them 4 wide, and then the door is nothing but closing. So I'll tell you what, Selena Thompson must be the unluckiest race car driver this evening. She's had an horrendous time. Absolutely horrendous.
The fact that she's still racing is quite impressive, considering I would have been very annoyed at this point.
I would have said, see you later.
Yep.
So, there you go. As I write it down. Well, not an ideal thing. I'm not going to lie. We're on caution number 8 now. I don't dare pull Selena in, just in case she's going to start screaming and shouting at me or something. Because she's been involved in quite a bit. 25 to go, Kenton. 25 to go, sir.
Yeah, and kind of feels like there's a lot more that's going to happen. And I'm not happy about it.
Why are you not
Way
happy?
too many. Way too many crashes. This is 8 cautions through this race, and majority of them were completely unavoidable, or were completely avoidable.
I'm bordering on the lines of agreeing with you, partly due to the fact that I think a lot of the mistakes have just been that people rushing through, people doing things they shouldn't be doing. It's all of these bits that need to be dealt with. And they're not being dealt with. They're just still doing it. And that's the problem. And it's causing nothing but issues. And it's causing issues for everyone. We're still going, 75 lap race at Dega, full tilt, going on a 49 lap. Obviously, that's going to get longer or, as the time goes on. They're all capable. I think that's the thing. They're all capable of doing this one track well, but they don't seem to be getting it right. And to be 8 cautions by the time we've even hit lap 50, I don't know. I'm getting flashbacks. It's ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this happen in Daytona as well. Like, it was just, caution after caution after caution. And I understand it's, you're going fast, and when you're all full speed, it does make, a little incident or a little slip up or, mistiming your corner, things like that it has a much more disastrous effect because it's a lot harder for the cars around you to be able to avoid those collisions. But you need to work on that patience. Make your moves, sure, when you can, but trying to force a move on, lap 50 of 75 or lap 30 of 75 it's just, you don't need to. You've got a lot of time left, and I get like, okay, it's very draft heavy, and the person ahead of you starts going slow. You want to make your move and take advantage of it, but you have to pick your times smart. Like, just diving it because, there's it. If space car doesn't really work on these kind of tracks, like it's a lot harder. This is, it's not like a road course where you might have a spin out and then all of a sudden now you're off track and you might collect one other car. No, like here you spin out on track, you're taking out about 5 to 10 other cars. So
that's the thing. I get the slower car. I understand that. I'm moving up, right? And I do get it. But when you're reading stats of lap 2, lap 14, lap 18, lap 24, lap 28, lap 34, lap 45, lap 50, you're bordering on the line of, come on, you know what I mean? And whether or not I've sit here and I can probably count the fact that I've got Thompson's name in it. And the thing is, when you say things like that, they instantly go, oh, well, Selena, duh. But it isn't her fault in necessarily times. Do you know what I mean? You just end up getting caught in other people's incidents. And that's the thing for this circuit. When you make a mistake on here, it's not just yourself you're going to punish. There's going to be 5, 10 people, sometimes half the field behind you. And I feel like, considering last time we had 4 cautions, I feel like we've gone, all of a sudden, we've taken 6 steps forward, but now we've just gone 7 back because we're 8 cautions deep already.
Yeah, and it's exactly like you need to take that little bit of time and not push or force that move to happen. Like it's we've harped on this pretty much all season. I mean, we have had a lot of really clean races, but you're not winning at the beginning of the race. You can't win it in lap 1.
Why? Because my spotter tells me I can.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. This is what I mean. And this is what people aren't realizing is you can't go out and take a 75 lap race at Dega on lap 1. It's not possible. If you're trying to push on your own, you're going to get strung out. You're going to get hung out. And the only place you're going to be going is back. But look, let's get this back underway here once more. And Jordan Malcolm, Norberg, Sizemore, Kuhn, Thompson, Spainhour and Keith all staying where they are. Now, this is where they need to just click laps off. Click them off. Click them off. Click them off. Get yourself into position to get going and then go. But you can't be moving in a bunch of traffic and hope to survive.
No, and I mean, we just saw that whole thing. So, Selena gives her bump, which she's supposed to. She has the space. Sizemore's ahead of her, not pushing anybody, but then she gets bumped, which then causes that car to bounce back, which then don't push a pusher. That's like the cardinal rule of super speedways. You don't push the pusher. And Seth Pegg now unfortunately got bumped out, and he is going to drop back very quickly.
If you're wondering, that is the white car on the right hand side there was Seth Pegg. As I say, I've apologised for deliveries numerous amounts of times. Not quite sure why I've got 90% of the field and the other 10% are just deciding, no, I'm not having it. So that's the thing, isn't it? Survival is going to win this one. I believe so as well. I am very much on the believing that anybody can still win this, right? Anyone from the people in the playoffs to anyone who's not even in and nowhere near it. And that's why this racetrack should be renowned for the racing that we're getting. But at the moment, all we're going to remember this for next season, 8 cautions by the time we get to 50. You know, and the racing shouldn't be about that. You know, we can see them here. They're racing clean, which is great, you know, and they're racing great, but don't do that. Don't do that. The free wide at Rodney Roberts is just no need, because he's going to end up being squashed against a wall. We'll end up being taken out at the back end unless he can get in now. TJ's also been pushed out. So TJ's got to try and look at coming back in. Now. No, TJ, now. You know, and there's a lot going on that people have got to start thinking about. And as you can see, TJ's just plummeted. Gone down the order like a brake, an elevator with no brakes. And there's people on the grass.
Whoop.
What? You want to explain that one, or?
I have impatience, and that was I mean, really close from Jumlin coming all the way back on track.
So that's where the three of them linked.
So the 19 came down on Alex Witt, which forced Jumlin, and then the 19 didn't give any space as Jumlin tried to come back up. Jumlin obviously trying to come back up on a track that has cars moving right beside a car. That's also not going to work, but nope. There goes Sizemore as he gets a little squirrely. That's going to cause some checkups behind him, as it looked like he got a little bit of a rub out by Selena there.
Cody Kern in that 23 is the other white one I'm looking at the moment. Yeah, this is Dan Michael up on the free wide wall there. Drop back in, sir.
At least he slipped back in, so we're good there.
He come back in, did he? Which is fine, but yeah, I think as the season's gone on, the standard of driving has got more and more better, right? We know that from the very first race we had. What was it, Daytona? 14, 15 cautions, I think it was, something borderline ridiculous. You know, and it has got better, and it has got better, but it seems to me that we stick them on a racetrack that full flat, full punt, full tilt, and it causes problems. And it's like everybody's got this same opinion, but you must go and win it on the first race. And I like the fact that at the moment, Norberg is kind of settling this down. He's out in front. He's got Jordan Malcolm, who we know can do what he needs to do. Selena Thompson, her job's been done very well already this evening. Unlucky being caught in other people's incidents, not always her fault, so fair play. You know, but they've just got to play it right, this bottom line now. They've just got to play it right and try and make these laps get down to 10. After 10, I don't care how much you want to battle and fight and yellow it up, but, you know, let's get somewhere here before you guys start really throwing it all at each other.
Yeah, and I know, like, obviously, the misconception about a lot of these super speedway tracks is, you know, you don't really need to practice it. It's hop on, pin the throttle, try and hold your line as best you can, basically, and that's about it. But at the same time, it's more so you need to have someone to practice with, or, you know, throw it on with AI, whatever it is, because that draft, the car reacts way differently than it would in clean air. So you have to know how it's going to feel when you're trying to drive around a corner and you're getting a ton of dirty air off the back of a car ahead of you. The aerodynamics of these cars, they still create a lot of that dirty air. It's still going to affect how the car handles. It's going to feel a lot looser in the corners. And if you're not ready for that, it can really make the corners difficult. And you start seeing guys kind of bumping up and down, going down to the line, back up, down and back up, and then then settling down, or they're coming out of these corners because, again, same thing, that dirty air coming out of the corner, you see them drop down, then swing all the way back up to their position and maybe overshoot it a little bit, and then they have to recorrect it again. Or, trying to give the bump. Like, these cars, the front of them isn't flat. It's a little rounded. You can see it on the very front there of you can see it on TJ's car or on Greg Sherman's car. It's not a perfect flat surface. So if you're going to give a bump draft, you have to be sure that the car ahead of you is perfectly still, in like not turning or weaving or anything like that. You have to make sure you've lined it up correctly. Thankfully, a lot of them, unless they have the black sort of backing, when you look in on the cockpit, you can see there's a little black square that's the camera, the rear camera there. If you line up to that, it'll at least be fairly squared. Oh, and another caution. Noel?
No.
Yep. And that looks like he just got squished between Keith and Dan Michael and had just nowhere to go.
Yeah, he couldn't pop out either.
He was literally net-coded through Keith.
Mm.
And unfortunately, Dan Michael went to give him a bump, and there was just nowhere for him to go at that point.
Yep. Okay, well, we were on lap 62. We went 12 laps. And Jakowitz is probably sitting in that car, not happy about the fact that coming into the final laps here, and he unfortunately there is a caution. 13 to go. I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Malcolm takes this. I would not be surprised if Jordan Malcolm takes this. And then he's going to kick himself, because if he can make the Homestead final and he can win at Talladega, you don't need to show up for any of the others.
Yeah, basically. And I mean, obviously, if you're smart, you're still going to, because seat time is fantastic, and that's going to help everything when it comes to this. But yeah, Norberg's having a fantastic race for himself, and he's kept it clean, kept out of trouble. He had a little bit of an incident early on, but that's, like we say, NASCAR doesn't matter. You can you can be at the very back to start a race, and you can work your way back up on one caution. And obviously with 8 forced cautions ish, 8.5, because one's technically the stage break, but it was an early because of anyway. Even with all these cautions, it's easy to work your way back up. I mean, Jordan Malcolm's been involved a couple of times. Selena's been involved, it seems like, in almost every caution, and not even because of her own doing, like literally just getting taken out constantly, and she's in third. So
I don't know
what we kind of mean.
Yeah, I don't know why they have qualifying. Do you know what? They should just stick up a wheel and stick everybody's number on, and or pull it out of a hat. Get every driver to pull a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Or something.
I mean, it's important for some races, just not like races like this.
No. What you do is get them all to sign, stick out a sheet and say, right, guys, what number do you want? And they all pick a number so they can all see what numbers have gone. And then Armand goes, okay, cool, I'm going to spin the wheel, spins the wheel, and lines up the grid that way. Because it is borderline qualifying in NASCAR. I'm finding the more and more me and you do these, and the more JPB does NASCAR, I'm just finding qualifying completely irrelevant. It's a 5-minute section that just allows me and you to waffle on, because it doesn't really make a difference. At the end of the day, where's our pole man? Who remembers who was on pole?
Selena, she's in third.
Bird, exactly. But look at the gain around her. Norberg up 12. Malcolm up 5. Michael up 20. Strada up 16. There's no need for qualifying, I don't think. I like the idea of putting their names on a sheet of paper and pulling out the grid that way. That will work for me.
It'd be entertaining at the very least.
Yeah, exactly. Because it does all of a sudden in NASCAR become slightly irrelevant. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. Let me know, Rio. You're in YouTube chat. What do you think? Should we scrap qualifying and have numbers, places drawn out of a hat? That's my theory. Kenton, what do you think?
I'm curious, actually, as to what her response would be here. Strictly because I mean, it's as useful.
Yeah.
It would be as useful, but it's kind of entertaining to see the qualifying end of things, so you can kind of see what people's speed's at and how they are around this track. But yeah, I mean,
it's irrelevant. I don't think the speeds really have made a difference, because if we were taking into consideration the qualifying speed at the beginning, Alex Witt and Dan Michaels should be at the back.
Whatever. Well, I mean, Alex Witt's in 17th, so he's only up +3. He's had a rough day. He's had a few contacts, I believe.
No, I don't. Whatever you want, James. Whatever soothes your soul. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't. William, I'm sorry. I don't agree. I find we talk about qualifying in NASCAR, and me and Kenton brush it off as if I've just chucked salt over him and he's knocking it off his shoulder, because it does show within this kind of environment within NASCAR. It does show that NASCAR is the qualifying is irrelevant. It is irrelevant because of the fact that one of the men that were in the back, Dan Michael, is up 20 positions, is now sitting in 5th. I'm arguing that fact, and I'm sorry. I know I am from the UK, and us UK people, you know, with NASCAR, and not everybody likes a English commentator on a NASCAR league because it's American, and they all should be American. But at the end of the day, I'm finding the more and more, me and you have been here, Ken, and I'm finding the more and more qualifying is, it's not really making, it doesn't give a true reflection. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and like Terry Spainhour says, it's important for pit box selection, as it does. Your pit box is based off of that, which does have some decent implication when it comes to green like pit stop. Sorry, as we're back underway here with 10 to go, and it looks like Jordan Malcolm had a terrible start there.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Not really sure what happened.
No, he got strung up on the outside there, unfortunately. Norberg, Thompson, Michael, Keith, Strada, Sizemore are going to be the front ones here as well. I do love the fact that all of a sudden I mentioned about quali and like a load of messages come in. No! You know what I mean? William, I'm only playing. Don't worry. Being English or American shouldn't matter. You're doing a fine job, sir. Oh, thank you, Brad. Much appreciated to you as well. Even with my very croaky throat as it's gone on here. Every single broadcast at the moment, my throat's like, brah. It's just not loving the amount of talking I've been doing over the last week, I'm sure. Going into the final 10, we've got this little breakaway pack at the moment. Norberg, Thompson, Michael, Keith breaking away slightly. I'm going to say that's a loose term. Because at the moment, Michael's now dropping off Keith as well. So if them front three can work together, this could be a freeway run down to the line.
It's definitely going to get interesting. I mean, these three, they've been running really well. Selena's been doing what she can to try to stay out of trouble. And Dan Michael, of what I've seen today, there we go. Of what I've seen today, Dan Michael's one of the more reliable kind of bump drafters out here. He hasn't really caused any issues. In the back. There it goes.
Jakowitz.
Yellow? No?
No.
No,
not for Noel Jakowitz this time. We're still racing.
Cool.
Yeah, I know, William. Oh, no, we are. There it is. Believe that was down with Noel Jakowitz. What actually caused the yellow in the first place? It can't have been... It was here, but this was a late yellow, if this is the situation.
It was a late yellow, yeah.
Oh. Rodney Robertson, Noel Jackowitz, caution number 10. Not an ideal scenario there as well. So we're on lap 67, 8 to go. And Jackowitz, unfortunately, has been involved in the last 2 incidents here as well. So there we go. Quality is important, but the end of the race is always unpredictable. That is why NASCAR is so much fun to watch and race in. It's all good English, homie, just trying to help you understand. I do understand, William. I do, right? And as I said, you know, don't get me wrong. I am English. It's fairly noticeable. But I think over the period of time, Kenton, I think quality just at certain points and certain racetracks just becomes irrelevant. I get it on the more tighter circuits, right? I get it on, you know, Darlington, Dover, Bristol, all of these like middle to skinny ones. I understand that. Because they are important, because you do want to try and stay out in front, because there's nothing worse than sliding your back end round, right, and people hitting you. But I think certain points, the fact that we've seen people come from the back to the front and win kind of does beg the question.
It definitely does, but I mean, I guess it's more entertainment and adds a little bit more a layer of flavor, I guess, to the race when you have cars that have to battle their way up from the back if they have a bad quality, or that race, you know, they just didn't take it the right line for it, whatever it is. It just adds that little bit of, you know, a little extra. It's kind of like watching Max Verstappen when he is in Spa and had to, you know, work his way from 14th to the front again, and you know he's gonna win, but you're kind of like, this could be interesting at least.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of adds that extra level.
Yeah, I know. Again, your exposure is BSC. It's not just BSC. I've done other leagues as well. So please, you know, don't just think I've just done the BSC. We have done other leagues as well. Kenton knows I'm right. Did Lewis not do that at Brazil? He got close. I don't think he took the win in Brazil, if I remember correctly.
He did, but it that's a different style. There was a sprint race that weekend. If I think I know exactly which year it was. I think it was the 2019. Was it 2019 or 20?
I don't know. I'll give you 5 minutes to Google, because that's what you're doing. Triple bypass is similar. Actually, the triple bypass is also open league. I don't know how much they practice. They practice quite a lot. The triple bypass, I've been in races with the triple bypass where they've had no cautions. So, you know.
We did, actually, yeah. We did it the other day. We had one caution again at Kansas, yeah.
Kansas, yeah. So, you know, I am aware that the triple bypass do. Also, I've done the 100% Cup Series. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. That was a long race. That was a full 100% length. So, you know, there's a lot that BSC isn't my only exposure. Let's just put it that way. So there you go. In 2021, he went to the back to the front in the sprint and the race, apparently.
Yeah, he qualified in last due to getting disqualified in quali. Then because of the sprint race, he actually was able to get to P5, and then from P5 ended up winning it.
Right. There you go. 5 to go, Kenton. Let's have a prediction now, guys, as well. We got 3 green, white checkers. How many are we going to need?
None. That's what I'm going with. We're not going to have one.
None.
Yeah.
Kenton Sportak, you brave boy.
Right?
Yeah. Saying that,
going out on a limb here.
The last time me and you picked some, we actually didn't need any, did we? If I remember correctly.
Nope.
I can't remember where we was. We were like, how many green, white checkers? And we didn't actually need any. So, yeah. I mean, I'm always optimistic. I come in every week thinking we're going to have just a straight green flag run. Unfortunately, not to be here today, though, but let's see what we can do with the 5 across, 5 to go. Norberg, Thompson, Michael, Strada. The way it's going, we're going to need 13 green-white checkers. Maybe. I don't know. What do you reckon, Kenton? You still saying none?
I'm sticking with none. I'm hoping not 13.
Well, they've only got 3 to use, Brad. Otherwise, they're going to end up coming across the line in a yellow. So
yeah, I'm going with none. It's going to be one of those kind of crazy races we didn't expect, where we end up having none of them.
Okay, well, let's see here as well. The pace car's just about to come in once more. And we're going to be dropping onto that starter cam very, very shortly. Here they come in the top right-hand corner of your picture. 5 to go here at Dega. Is the 5 to go. Green flag now. We are up and running. It is green, green, green. Dan Michael, Matt, Selena Thompson, all involved in that front one, Kenton. And it's all going to end up going off here once more. Who's going to be able to take it? There's movement on the outside line. There's everybody trying to make through. Alex Witt is also in there as well. He's trying to move Calvin Ross politely out the way at the moment. And Calvin's like, no, you're not going. But Norbert, Michael made the jump at the beginning, and Thompson's catching up as well.
Yeah, Thompson, I mean, she didn't get the greatest of jumps. Dan Michael had a pretty solid jump and was able to kind of hold on to his position and get right behind Norberg. But everything's going around behind us. No caution? There it is. Okay, I was like, where's the flag? All right, so we're going to need at least one.
At least one.
Green white check.
I sigh.
Yep.
We went green, and then we went yellow very quickly. And I'm wondering if it kicked off here with Brandon McLaughlin. Oh, well, Joshua B. Keefe, Brandon McLaughlin, and a lovely white car that I can't quite work out who that is at the moment. Anthony, it's Radel.
Anthony Radel.
No, Radel's being squeezed in the middle. McLaughlin's the white car.
Yeah, McLaughlin, yeah.
And then he comes up, oh, the 19. Kuhn come up there really quickly. Did you see that as well? Oh, dearie me. There was a lot going on all at the same time there. So, Brandon McLaughlin, unfortunately, sir, you were involved in the initial incident, but I don't think you caused it. I think it was Kuhn that caused it in the 19 car as he come back up. So, yeah, Thomas Kuhn. There you go. 3 to go. So we're going to need 1 at least. Hang on to your sanity, James. Oh, mate.
I think that's already gone.
Yeah. James has already lost it.
Yeah. We let him go on too many tangents about road circuits and blue flags.
Look, right? I just give an opinion. People don't like my opinion, and I understand that, but I give an opinion. And you know what they say, right? If you don't watch it, if you don't like it, as my dad always said to me, if you don't like watching it, turn it over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's your choice, isn't it?
Can't really argue that.
No. I could never argue with my dad either, to be honest. Partly because he was a big mountain of a man when I was a kid. Not so much now, not gonna lie. But yeah, he always used to say, if you don't like watching it, he'll either say 2 things to me. He'll either say, turn it over, or he'll say, tough, I'm watching it. And then I'm like, oh, okay, Dad, I'll just sit here and watch whatever this is then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
there we go.
Always entertaining at the very least to deal with 2 of parents, hey? They're always fun.
Yeah, and
it's a wisdom.
And I think that's, at the end of the day, why we do this. Because we got to entertain while commentating. And we do,
Exactly.
we do commentate. But anybody that's watched NASCAR will know that it's not if you go back and watch the MX-5, you'll see a different style of commentating because they've got 15 minutes and they're sprinting. So, it's a bit different to a more NASCAR-based commentary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's especially when you have 11 cautions, then it's a lot of filling time. But it's always fun.
Definitely. I love your opinion. Sometimes progress can't be made without different perspectives. See? There we go. We're going to have another lap here.
He's not wrong. Yep.
We're going to have another lap. Opposites attract. Absolutely, William. I agree with you. They definitely do. It's like a man and some wives. Just chalk and cheese.
Chalk and cheese.
Well, I could have said carrot and cheese. That was what my wife ate when she was pregnant. Carrot and cheese together. It's very
interesting.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. Not gonna lie. Right, come on, boys. Free to go. We've got this. All of you have got this. I have faith in every single one of you. Don't we, Kenton? Kenton.
I want to say that was our last one, but I'm having troubles because they just can't seem to put multiple laps together consistently. But I'm excited to see if Norberg is able to hold on. And he's getting real interesting for him.
Yeah, it is, because if Norberg is obviously in the final 8, in the final 10, he'll automatically go through, right? Same with Dan Michael, the same with Strada, the same with Witt, the same with Williams. Where are you, Mr. Williams, actually? You're quite far down at the moment, aren't you? Have I lost Andrew Williams? No, he's in 5th. So Williams has also got a crack as well. So this could be a great run in here. I'm not going to lie.
This could get real interesting real quick, and I'm 100% here for it. Although Norberg probably should stay behind the safety car. I think a lot of this is going to kind of depend on if he's going to get a jump, and this is going to be kind of the interesting thing for Norberg. Is typically you don't want to get a big jump, but he might actually want to get a big jump to kind of force Dan Michael to make that choice of dropping down behind him, because it's going to be a little bit easier for him to be able to keep the front end if Dan is behind him. Directly behind him. So this could get interesting, or he's going to really be relying on Selena to help him.
I would yeet it.
Just full yeet?
Full yeet, I would go. Literally, I would be on the bike about as soon as I'm allowed to now. I would go open up as much of a gap as I can. We've got 3 to go. You've only got to get one more lap, right? And you ain't seeing a caution anyway. No cautions on the final lap. So Norberg's only got to get round the next 30. Don't throw it. Please don't throw it. Please don't. Oh, there's more involved in that. Can you see them all on the track map?
There it is. I got a feeling it might have been a 19 car.
No, they're already off. Yeah, Thomas Coons in the 19.
Yeah, it looks like the 19 comes down, collects Thomas, and then that kind of collects TJ. And then unfortunately for TJ and Cody Kern, they're just kind of there.
And Brian McLaughlin, I think, is in there as well. So, yeah.
So do we think Brusso still has hair, or?
Oh, mate, he is as bald as a coot, isn't he? He is literally. He won't wake up and use an airbrush in the morning. His missus will use polish. He ain't got none, dude. he will be pulling his hair out about now, I'll tell you that much. So, there you go. That's my philosophy on it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, he's polishing up. Why is the 19 in this? Said odds against us media.
Because he's in it, I guess. I
think I know what you're trying to say about why is he still there, right? I get it. I do, and unfortunately he has been involved in some and other incidents, but there's also just as many names on my piece of paper of other people that have been involved in so many incidents as well. So until we maliciously take somebody out, he has a right to be there. Incidents don't happen because people, are malicious. They happen because people don't use their head. And he can't drive. Well, he may not be able to in your eyes, but he's been here all season. And for Thomas Kuhn, he's done, a stellar job here once more. So I think sometimes you're looking at one race, you're not looking at multiple. And it's the same when you select classes for drivers, AM and Pro. You could have a AM that might have one barnstorming race, but then you can't. Then they might have a next race where they're spinning more times than a ballerina in Swan Lake. So, yeah, no, dude, I've got to slightly disagree with you odds against the media because of the fact that there are people who are well out of position at the moment. But yeah, I know are very capable of doing the job. Jordan Malcolm, well out of position. He's a lap down, sitting in 26th place, caught up in other people's incidents, last season's champion. The kid can drive. So, yeah, I think you need to look at other races before we can definitively say that's the situation. Don't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, he's had a rough day, but I mean,
but then
Stockner hasn't been involved in it. Stockner hasn't been involved in any incidences this race, and I think it was a couple of races ago. It was like every incident was
Stockner.
He was either involved or caused. Yeah. So,
and it's like Thompson. Thompson's been involved in a lot today, but she's currently sitting in second. So, true, but half of the field can't drive anyway.
Very bold statement.
Yeah, you can handle that one. I think
I'm just.
And the 19 is.
I mean,
if them.
I don't really know what the.
I'm going to try and put it in a way where I'm almost doing it maliciously, politely. As much as I love opinionated individuals, odds, and I get it, right? You come in, you've watched half a race, you've said this. Unless you're all of a sudden going to pop up and tell me what your name is, or are you a driver, or do you race, or are you in a league? It's a little hard to accept, and I'm surprised that other people in the YouTube chat haven't jumped on you, to be honest. So, as much as I love it, and you're bantering around, I understand that. Just please be mindfully respectful. These guys are 13 rounds in. You know what I mean? They're not in the playoffs for no reason. So,
yeah.
That's about as polite as I'll be on that situation. So, just stay on the line. Do you get where I'm going with that, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right. Good. I'm glad we've cleared that one up.
Yeah. Anyways, hopefully our last green, white, checkered.
Hopefully it will be, yes. We've only got I think I've only got one more left after this.
Yeah. I believe Armin Brusso is pretty excited to just get this one done.
How are you aware of that?
I'm saying I'm pretty sure he's excited to get this one done.
I'm pretty sure he is as well. He's sitting in a good position, mind you. Right. Right. Here we go. Gonna be up and running once more. Coming in the top side of your screen now, Matthew Norberg, Selena Thompson. We're in that Geico restart zone. We are going to be up and running. We are going to be green here for the final run. Hopefully on this Dega 75 here as well. Sponsored by the Killer Brownie Company. Two laps to go. They got one more to make it before we won't get any more cautions. No cautions on the white flag lap. Let's see what happens here once again.
Well, these three got a great jump on everybody else here. So, and this is, you've got Norberg and Williams going to be kind of fighting it out to see who gets that automatic bye into the final race here. So, it's...
Oh, Michael's got that push.
He's a little further back. But
Michael's got that push. Michael's going to get the push. He's going to come running over the line now. You can see the jigsaw puzzle was all of a sudden spread across the table. There's people making it.
Selena slid down the middle.
Yeah, she's been hung out, unfortunately, for Selena Thompson. Now we're on the way.
We're on the final lap, so there's no more green, white, checkered.
No more cautions to go. Down to the line, Norberg, Williams, Michael, Ross, Witt, and Strada. Any one of these needs this. Any one of these want this. How is this going to go? There's door rubbing in the middle between Calvin Ross and Dan Michael. Come through, Rodney Roberts. Oh, 17's out. There's a big one.
Oh, there's a solid crash.
Who's going to take it over between Norberg and Williams? Is they going to come down to the line? Who's going to be the first one with the bye? Williams is going to tuck in. He's only got the try to go. Is he going to try and make the move? He's got to be looking to try to pull out here. It's going to be Norberg. It's got to be Norberg, as Williams is not going to get a run. He is Matthew Norberg. Woo! That was a big one in the middle, though, but Matthew Norberg got it.
Yeah, that was a little.
I don't know what
little bit
on.
of a.
That was a lot.
Crazy. Yeah.
So, there they all are.
Oof. Yep, that one's going to end horribly.
Yeah. Straight across the track. Spainhour's in there as well. Calvin Ross, Keith. Ouch. Spainhour, look at that. It's a good job. Armor Brusso as well. Brandon McLaughlin, Nicholas Stockner, Jordan Malcolm. Is Malcolm going to be able to weave his way through it? He does drop down onto the low side. There's a great car there, Jordan. Oh.
I think that's Stockner that he managed to avoid.
Yeah.
Seth Egg unfortunately wasn't able to, and he's missing, looks like a front quarter panel.
Yeah, definitely. So there was, but Matthew Norberg, take a bow, dear sir. You have wrapped that up. Stellar job. First man through as well, because Norberg was in the final 10, and he will be the first man into the final. Instant bye for Norberg. So a stellar job from him. He will go that wonderful gold next week. So for Norberg, stellar job all in all there as well. But we can bring you up the final results here. And, well, let's see how it went. It was Matthew Norberg by a 10th over Andrew Williams. Rob Sizemore in third. Noel Jakowitz in fourth. Andrew Onquist in fifth. Dan Michael sixth. Hunter Carson seventh. Andrew Jamalin in eighth. Selena Thompson down in ninth, but she got strung out in that middle. And then you've got Ryan McLennan, Devon Collicott, Rodney Roberts, Seth Pegg, Thomas Kuhn, Cody Kern, Michael Massey, Andy Radel, and Greg Sherman. TJ Spainhour, Brian McLaughlin, Alex Witt, Joshua Keefe, Calvin Ross, Christian Strada, Nick Stockner, Jordan Malcolm, Joshua Kuhn, and Dominic Bettini. So, there we go. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll start with third and have a chat with Rob Sizemore. Rob, welcome in. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing good.
That was an interesting one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Talladega for you. It's always pretty wild here.
All right. That's one way of putting it, Rob, to be honest. And I think you put it in probably a lot more nicer way than I may have done. All right. Why is it always Dega? Why is it always a problem?
Oh, because it's so fast and people they're not patient. Everybody's trying to run 2 and 3 wide, and yeah, just the pack racing, and it causes the big one over and over.
Right. Okay. Going forward for you, where are you at in conjunction to some of these things? You know, what's your aim for this one?
I show up for the fun of it. I enjoy racing. I'm not in the playoffs, and so I just show up to have a good time. I try not to cause other people any problems. Try and race clean and just have a good time and stay out of the way of the ones that are really competitive and running for the championship.
Yeah, definitely was. But it's going to be an interesting one. Next week we go to Vegas.
Oh yeah, that's a good track. A lot of fun. I love that track.
Okay, Rob. Well, thank you so much for joining us there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
No, I don't think so. Just all the fans that tune in and watch every week, keep tuning in. It's fun to put on this show, and we're glad for the people that show up.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rob. Take care and have a good one, buddy.
All right, thanks. You too.
All right, now next up is one Mr. Andrew Williams. He was a 10th back over the line there. Andrew, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Yeah, very interesting race.
They were very interesting, wasn't it? It was a very slow running one, I think. Should we say?
Yeah, I mean, we had some runs in there, but yeah, a lot of restarts, a lot of yellows, which I mean that's just how Talladega is. Just happy I was able to come back from early damage and push my boy Nordberg to a win.
Your boy? Push your boy Nordberg? Were you not going for that win then?
I mean, I told him the second the field wrecked that I was going to try and get him, but with nobody behind us, I had no help to get around him. But yeah, I mean, always looking for a win myself, but I knew lining up on that last restart that there really wasn't going to be a great shot for me to win unless I got lucky. So now didn't get lucky enough to put it on the top step myself. Was able to commit to the push and get him there.
Okay, well, we're going on to Vegas next week as well for you, Andrew. You've got some opportunities to get into that final run. What do you think the chances are?
I feel really good about the next 3 races. These are all tracks that I absolutely adore. I always run well at them. So yeah, I think especially with the P2 tonight, I've got enough points to make it out the first round. I feel really good about my chances of making the final 4.
Awesome stuff. Well, Andrew, thanks so much for joining us there, bud. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Of course, I want to shout out Orangeville Racing for coming and racing this league with every night, and yeah, congrats Nordberg on the win.
Yeah, absolutely done a stellar job. Well, Andrew, thank you so much there, bud. We look forward to having a chat with you and seeing how you get on in the playoffs. Great job, buddy, and have a good one.
You too.
All right, let's now have a chat with our championship, with our winner here, the man who gained 12 places, went over the line, took the win there as well. Matthew Nordberg, welcome in. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. Not bad, mate. Not bad at all. I've watched some interesting races before, and I've got to be honest, Dega has become one of them interesting races. Tough race, very stop-starty.
Yeah, for sure. I got caught up in a couple of wrecks early on and used my fast repair in the middle of the race, and I was really worried about getting caught in some other wrecks. But I think right after I used it, just the way the kind of strategy played out with when you pitted, I pitted in like lap 46-ish, I think. with enough fuel to make it to the end, expecting to be middle to the back of the pack and sitting in the draft to save fuel. But the next caution came out, and everybody but 2 cars in front of me pitted. So I was now at the front of the pack, leading lines. That's going to burn up a ton of my fuel and put me on edge the rest of the race, thinking if I had enough fuel to make it. So it was a little nerve-wracking towards the end there. But luckily, that second green-white checker, ran to its conclusion. So no worries from my end.
Yeah, you did manage to get the win there. That automatically puts you into the final as well. So that for you has got to be a bit of a bargain as well. You don't have to show up for the others now.
I don't have to show up for the others, but I might show up just to run them, get the experience, and it's always fun to run races here, and I enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks and next couple of stress-free weeks. So if I miss a race for some reason, for work or any other reason, then I'm not going to be sweating it. So excited to get the win here today. It's a tough track to win at. Luckily, the last lap, pretty much everyone except Drew behind me crashed out. So going into turn 3, I knew I had the win there at that point.
Yeah, definitely. It was a little bit chaotic behind you. But Matthew, thanks so much for joining us as well. Congratulations on your win, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for putting on a great show, of course. It's always fun to race in this league on Tuesday nights. Obviously, can't forget to shout out my Orange Wheel Racing teammates. Drew Williams, you saw him pushing me there at the end of the race, and then Nick Stockner. Great teammates, lots of fun to race with them, and hoping to see Drew get that win in the next couple of weeks so that we can have 2 OWR guys in the final 4.
Well, you never know, mate. Stranger things have happened in these championship playoffs. Trust me, it can get really weird really, really quickly. So let's see what happens. But Matthew, thank you so much, buddy. Have a good week, and I look forward to chatting to you maybe next week.
Awesome. Thank you.
Take care. Well, there you go, Kenton. That was an interesting one, wasn't it, to finish off, to, start the playoffs with. Vegas next week? What do you reckon?
I'm hoping it's a little smoother than that, but we'll definitely see. I mean, it was definitely exciting. Lots of lead changes and lots of entertaining pushing till the end. And, of course, you had to have the big crash to finish it off. But we'll see how everything goes because I'm excited for Vegas for next week. It'll be a lot of fun.
Definitely will be as well. Thank you so much for everybody that joined up. Rio, you've got me confused about that. Give me 2 seconds. You are, or I didn't go down far enough. You were in 29th, Rio. So there we go. So you did make it onto the board. That was just me, unfortunately. I didn't pull down far enough on the standings, but you are on there as well. Right, guys, that's going to bring this one to an end. Thank you so much to everybody that's joined us as well. Apologies for others that decided that they just wanted to come in and be rude. I was only taking so much. Couldn't take any more. Rio, Spainhour, massive, of course. And Pika, thank you so much. And everybody else. William, much appreciated to you. Brad Young, of course, and all of the Spainhour family. Thank you so much for coming in as well. Peggles, you're a little bit too late. Sim Racing Community morning. Well, it is morning, but I'm going to bed. So, from myself and Kenton Sportak up here in the booth as well, guys, you all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.